Hi there, students. To double down. To double down. Okay, the literal meaning of this is to double your bet. If you're playing pontoon or blackjack or 21, the same game, in the casino, you can double down. You double your bet. You double the stake. Yeah. And that makes your position, your risk even higher. But, well, that's technical. Let's see. We use to double down is to make yourself more committed to something. Particularly when somebody criticizes you. So maybe I'm giving a lecture and one of the students says, but you're completely wrong about that. Very often the first reaction is to say, of course I'm not. I'm absolutely right. I'm never wrong. And this is to double down, to strengthen your commitment to say very strongly that you are right, to reinforce your position. And very often this is a difficult thing. When people say we are wrong, I think our first reaction is to say, no, I'm not. And this is, I think, something human, that we tend to double down, to support our position even more strongly. But I think really we need to examine what the other person has said, decide if it is valid or not, and then double down or not double down. I think the problem is our first immediate reaction is to double down, to respond to a challenge by reinforcing your position rather than moderating it. And I think the first thing you ought to do is think about the criticism. Think if this is constructive and valid criticism. And if it is, then accept it. Yeah? So to double down, this is talking about increasing your risk, increasing your commitment to something that may be already risky. Yeah, so you significantly increase, you strengthen your effort, your investment, your resolve to something. So yeah, this is what happens with politicians. Maybe the press criticize them, saying that their policy is not working. So they double down and talk very strongly about how much good this is going to do. And they commit themselves even more to this strategy. And this is the idea of to double down. I think the Americans probably would use this more than the Brits, but it's to strengthen your commitment to a course of action, particularly one that's risky, and particularly in a situation where you are being criticized and you refuse to admit you are wrong. So, for example, in a war, there is a war between two countries. Maybe the president of one of the countries decides to double down and escalate the conflict, make it even more serious. Yeah, and then there's probably more to win and more to lose. Okay, so it's to become more zealous, more resolute in your position. Yeah, to maintain your position even more strongly, particularly in the face of people saying that you're not wrong, or in the face of doubt, or people suggesting that maybe you're not right. But unfortunately, this idea of doubling down is a very human thing to do. Your first reaction is, no, I'm not wrong. I'm never wrong. I'm always right. but the problem is we're not always right. And the first thing we then do is we double down and defend our position even more strongly. But what we really need to do is to look at that position, decide if the criticism is valid or not, and if it's not valid, then time to double down. But if it is valid, to accept it and admit we are wrong. So enough. If you enjoyed, wait a second, I haven't done the formality yet. To double down, I think I would give this a 4 in formality. Use it informally, semi-formal conversation, semi-formal writing, but no more. And also notice this is an intransitive phrasal verb. Somebody doubles down. Somebody doubles down on or about the position that they previously held, but intransitive. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating. If you think I'm wrong, I'm going to double down and refuse to admit that I've done anything wrong in the video. Subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. To double down.